What's good, y'all? I'm Skip, one half of the supergroup We Are Deciphered, and I want to get right to it, man. Kanye West is a cancer. Over the last 15 years or so, since the untimely passing of his mom, Kanye West has been on a downward trajectory, whether it be music, whether it be his representation in public, whether it be what he decides to say.
Slavery for 400 years? For 400 years? That sounds like a choice. That sounds like a choice. That sounds like a choice. That sounds like a choice.
The inflammatory remarks that are on his merchandise, the relationships that he's destroyed, the people he chooses to side with, whether it be political or otherwise, the people he seems to idolize, etc., etc. A lot of the things that Kanye West has done over the last, as I say, 15 years have been extremely harmful, not only to himself, not only to hip-hop culture, but to the fans that have held him up in support of his earlier days, which make you look at a song like, I can't remember the title, I missed the old Kanye, whatever the title of that song was, as almost like a gaslighting meta commentary on the lack of an existence of the person who was actually the old Kanye. And when you look at it from the perspective of who wrote those albums that we hold so close to us, whether it be College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, even parts of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, looking at GLC, Consequence, Rhyme Fest, Sci-Hi the Prince, Pusha T, Big Shine to a certain extent. All of these people help present the Kanye West that we came to know and love. Kanye West said in the Drink Champs video that he didn't even see himself as a real backpacker. A lot of the stuff that Kanye has done in his career has almost been an attempt to prove people wrong. And while that can be admirable, which it is, the older you get or the more accomplished you get, you start to look for things that people can tell you no on just so you can prove them wrong and do it. And that has not been working in Kanye's favor in the last 6 years or so, probably closer to a decade. From him attempting to run for president and having a full-blown crash out during his presidential campaign, from him deciding to stand next to Donald Trump and wear a red hat and go full-blown MAGA, from him claiming allegiance and standing next to Elon Musk, from him getting on stage and making insane level 20-minute crash outs during the Life of Pablo tour. It's all put Kanye in this very weird place to where his wife, and that's their personal business, they're having issues with the kids as far as Kanye's ability to see them. And he continues to go to social media, more importantly Twitter and Instagram, to gaslight the fans into supporting him when he goes out of his way to do stuff that puts him in unfavorable positions with people that we don't have access to. And then you gaslight us with all of these anecdotal notions, thinking that just because you say one right thing, that you can say 50 wrong things in between each right thing that you say, and we're supposed to stand by you. So let's talk about it. It's a word that a lot of people don't want to use: anti-Semitism. Kanye West has went out of his way to spew anti-Semitic, whether it be slurs, just outright imagery with the swastika on the Yeezy merch, standing next to Elon Musk, whose grandfather is a known Nazi. And Kanye West has done a lot. If you go listen to one of the final songs on the Vultures project with Ty Dolla $ign, he's referring to himself as a bipolar anti-Semite. And anytime Kanye West gets blowback for the things that he says, he brings up a mental illness, whether it be bipolarism or autism or following in Elon Musk's footsteps with Asperger's or whatever the case is. Kanye West has continued to try to find ways to ingratiate himself back with the people that he is shunning and gaslighting along the way. Which leads me to believe that Sunday service was a way for Kanye West to try to endear himself to the black fans again. Because around that time, he had completely lost a large portion of the black fan base. And going the church route was a surefire way for us to forgive him and allow him the space to create Donda. And just because he wasn't cursing was supposed to mean that it was some grand gesture to him taking a step back into the right direction. But we've seen over time that was just a ploy that he found a way to make work. More incomplete albums, more incomplete thoughts, more poorly rolled out albums, and more reasons for us to believe firmly that Kanye West is no longer the artist that he once was, no longer the man he once was, or he may even be the man that he always was, but he no longer has the protection. Look at what happened to good music. Look at what good music was 10, 12 years ago, and look at what it is now. It's basically non-existent. And everybody from good music does not have a glowing review of Kanye West. And at some point, we have to acknowledge that the common denominator is he himself, Kanye West. And a big reason why we can't come to a consensus on Kanye West's problematic behavior is because Kanye West, which is a testament to his greatness or a testament to his perceived greatness, has amassed a very huge following. And with that, there are a lot of people who do not want to let Kanye West go, despite his best efforts to be someone that has become completely irredeemable. But he made graduation though. That is a huge that is a huge rebuttal to anything that anybody has to say negatively about Kanye West. Which brings us to a small concept that I want to kind of get into about separating the art from the artist. We have to get to a point where we cannot separate art from artists so easily. Us becoming so able to or willing to compartmentalize the worst behaviors of people allows them to also be financially empowered by us, the fans, to continue to do those problematic things. Another Chicago native, R. Kelly.
I hog-tied her. I don't know how to hog-tie people. What would I hog-tie?
If we would have not been so caught up in his music, we probably would have been able to stop a lot of stuff that happened to people that things should not have happened to while we were stepping in the name of love. So when we look at Kanye West and what he has become, more notably probably since the Life of Pablo era, that has in huge part been a byproduct of what his fans are willing to allow, but also what unchecked ego, pride, and ignorance can culminate into. Kanye West has destroyed basically every notable friendship or relationship that we recall him having throughout his lifetime or throughout his artistic lifetime. Dame Dash, Jay-Z, Big Sean, Pusha T, Sahara the Prince, Rhymefest, GLC, Consequence, all of these individuals, Tiana Taylor, Common, Chance the Rapper. I could go on and on with people that Kanye West once had within close proximity due to either a mutually beneficial relationship or an actual kinship that they shared with Kanye West, and he no longer has any of those people standing beside him. So we have to wonder, are we willing to continue to support this person when the only assistance that he has now in this part of his career is Elon Musk, Donald Trump, AI, and Ty Dolla $ign? And that's no slight to Ty Dolla $ign. Kanye West is jealous. Kanye West is attention seeking. Kanye West is at this moment actively on a kamikaze mission to destroy his entire legacy. Kanye West will not let anybody be spoken about more than him. He will do anything that is in his power to take that energy away from the person who rightfully owned it and has it at the time. That was the issue with Drake. It's admiration until it triggers and eats at his insecurities, which causes the jealousy. Kendrick Lamar is having his era. Kanye West is doing everything in his power to make sure that all of the attention is pulled from Kendrick Lamar and placed back on the backs of him and Drake, but more so to get it off of Kendrick Lamar so him and Drake can then fight for it again in the weird bromance that they have and have been sharing over the last 15 years. So what do we do with somebody like Kanye West, who is going to continue to show that he is not a person that deserves grace to the point where we still support him financially and empower him to act in the way that he's acting? We got to stop listening to his music. We got to stop buying his merch. We got to stop entertaining his outbursts, because those are only means of promoting by doing some of the most heinous things possible, whether it be insulting children, insulting minority groups, chastising individuals who do not see or think the way he does, which is problematic in itself, or people who are actively trying to help him. Kanye West seems to have a problem with all of those specific types of people. And if he doesn't, it makes it even worse, because he's using it just to promote an album. And if you're going to gaslight your listeners and infuriate the common people just to sell an album that's not even complete and it's not even good, why are we listening, and why are we patronizing you? So hear me clearly when I say this. Kanye West, you are a cancer. At this point in time, hip-hop will be better without you. Aside from everything that you've done in your career, you have reached a point where you are no longer welcome in hip-hop. The rhetoric, the rollouts, the gaslighting, the merch, parading your wife around like she's nothing more than a figment of your ego. The way that you're involving your kids in the things that they should have no part in, especially in Northwest. I'm not one to tell a man how to raise his kids, but I can acknowledge what I'm seeing. So once you acknowledge that your actions have been detrimental to not only yourself, the culture at large, and a lot of the fans that follow and support you, you have no place here. And I can say vehemently that I will no longer be supporting you and haven't been supporting you for a while. And we as hip hop fans do have a voice and a say in the matter. We don't have to support people who don't align with our morals and principles, especially to a point where it's putting us at a disadvantage. We cannot agree with something that somebody says, but when somebody's entire persona is intended to be egregiously disruptive and insulting to every single group of people that he can name, that's a problem. So once again, Kanye West, you are a cancer, and there's no place for you in hip hop.